Thanks, Liam. Well, it's almost Halloween, and that means a lot of kids will be knocking on your door. But before that happens, you may want to know if and how you're on the hook should a trick-or-treater get hurt on your property. Now, believe it or not, the role you play has a lot to do with whether or not your porch light is on, or in other words, whether or not you're giving out candy. Here to explain is personal injury lawyer with Preszler Law, John Philp. Good morning.
Good morning to you.
All right, so let's start from the beginning. The usual things, you got to make sure your steps are clear. So even if you're putting up all sorts of decorations, keep that area clear.
Yeah, in Ontario, there's a law called the Occupiers Liability Act, and this is a law that requires homeowners to ensure that their property is safe for people that are coming to their home. And this law requires you to take all reasonable steps in the circumstances to ensure that safety. Now, Halloween's a bit of a special case because obviously you're having a lot more people come onto your property. So.
Right.
As a homeowner, you have to take proactive steps to ensure that those kids coming onto your property are safe. So slippery leaves, that's a big one. On driveways or walkways, make sure you take steps to clear your walkways. Do a little bit of an inspection Halloween night. Make sure that there's no, stones out of place, or you don't have a pothole in your driveway.
Right.
Because if someone is injured on your premises, very likely you're going to get sued because of their injury.
Right, whether they're invited or not.
Well, listen, it's an interesting situation because even if you turn your light off, and that gives a signal to people that you don't want to hand out candy and you don't want to participate in Halloween, you still, as a homeowner, have to take precautions because, children see the lights are off. They may still be eager to go onto your property and knock on the door and see if you're going to open the door.
I was literally cowering on my couch last year because I had so many kids that I ran out of candy, finally turned the light off, and they'd never stop coming.
Yeah, and even in those circumstances, as a homeowner, you have to make sure the premises is safe. Now, another thing that people need to consider, if you have a dog that is fairly rambunctious and you open the door, dog bounds out, injures one of these kids, you have what's called a strict liability. There's another law called the Dog Owners Liability Act in Ontario. And if your dog injures one of these trick-or-treaters, you're going to be found liable. And there's very few ways to get around that liability.
And that, should that circumstance happen, that would go through your homeowner's insurance?
Yeah, absolutely. As a homeowner, you should have home insurance, and your insurance company, if someone decides to sue you because their child has been injured, your insurance company would basically step into your own shoes. So they would pay for any legal damages arising from the injury. They would also hire a lawyer on your behalf to defend the case for you.
All right, so the bottom line here is lots of light.
Yeah.
Make it clean.
Yeah.
Go nuts with the decorations, just not on the steps.
You have to demonstrate proactive steps. If you did get sued, what steps did you take? You can't just close your eyes and turn on the light and say, come on over, everyone.
Have a free-for-all.
Yeah, you have to make sure that the premises is safe.
Or like I do when I'm tired, stick the bowl out on the porch and just let people have at it. All right, thank you so much, John Philp from Preszler Law. Good to see you. If you have any questions for John and his team at Preszler, visit our Facebook page at facebook.com/morningshowto. Now here's a look at traffic.